let's fall down the rabbit hole. Hi, Shay.
Hi, Jody.
How are you?
I'm so good. I'm so excited for today.
I know I've been waiting for this since the day we rolled into the Itty Bitty Inn and met Rick Mama Chicken.
Yes, absolutely. He has been so lovely in agreeing to come on and be our very first guest on the podcast.
Oh, yes. I don't know if we told him that.
I know. I don't think we did.
Oh, yes. He's our very first guest.
Goodness. I hope we didn't sound like it was our very first guest.
I hope not to, but this is our very first podcast, so we're probably going to be a little rough at first. But.
Yeah, we're learning as we go. So Rick was our very first guest. He is the innkeeper of the Itty Bitty Inn. So if you are wondering what that is, go back and listen to episode 1 where we recap our first day of our Rainy Day Rabbit Holes road trip, and we ended up at the Itty Bitty Inn.
And that's where we met Rick, the Mama Chicken, and he was fabulous then. So we asked him on for an interview, and then it turns out he's even more amazing. So I am so glad we did that.
Yeah.
He is. I can't wait for you to hear.
Yeah, he's incredible. I mean, his hobbies make me feel like what I'm doing is not...
It's drudgery. He said, I don't have time for hobbies. You'll hear this in the podcast. I don't have time for hobbies and because of my work. And I'm like, Rick, your work is your hobbies.
Right.
You are the luckiest man alive. So please, please, please tune into this episode and enjoy getting to know Rick, and then get on the internet and go to the Itty Bitty Inn.
Yes. If you live out here in the Pacific Northwest, make a special road trip. I mean, if you live in the Pacific Northwest, you know that you have to just put on your raincoat and go even when it's not high season. You go in November, you go in December, you go in January, and you just enjoy the area and you enjoy the people and the businesses, even when the weather's crappy. If you're coming to visit on vacation, make sure you book many months in advance because it's only 5 rooms. And if you want to get that enterprise room, that rare, sought after, wait-listed enterprise room, I think you got to be 6 months out to get a weekend in the high season. Yeah.
There is a waiting list for the enterprise room.
Yeah.
I'm going to go for that 70s room. And so listen in to hear the details on what the enterprise room and that 70s room are. Rick's going to explain, and we're going to go into detail about how amazing his property is. And 1 hour of a podcast is not going to cover it. You're going to want to go see Rick.
We could have talked to him for 3 hours.
Yep.
So you're going to need to go down there.
She said no more.
Well,
everybody's got to go to bed tonight.
He's working.
Yes.
Yeah, we were taking time away from his business and his family time. So anyways, listen in and enjoy, and we'll see you after the episode.
Enjoy.
Hey, Rick.
Hey, Shay.
Hi, Rick. How are you?
I'm doing good, Jody. It's good to hear your voices.
Yes, I'm so excited for this. I've been looking forward to this since I met you, Rick.
Yes, me too.
My angels, I am stoked and been looking forward to it too. And
well, Rick, we really, really appreciate you taking the time out of your day. I know you're super busy to do this with us, but we just wanted to let you know, first off, how much meeting you and coming and staying at your inn meant to us on our trip. It was probably the brightest point in our entire trip.
Yeah. Oh. Outside of the scenery.
My angels, thank you. Thank you so much.
Honored
me with those precious words. Thank you.
Out of a couple episodes already, I've said it multiple times.
Yeah.
That was a highlight of my trip.
Yeah.
The Itty Bitty Inn.
Yeah.
And Rick, Mama Chicken.
Yeah. It wasn't just, your inn is incredible. We loved it so much, but you made it so special with your joy and your kindness and just you just exude wonderfulness. So I felt
like I wasn't staying in an inn. I was staying at your home.
Yeah, at friend's house.
You just welcomed us in like we were friends or family and knew each other forever, and it was fantastic.
Yeah. So we wanted to do that. We're gonna just shower you with praise. That's the love bombing, and you're gonna join our cult now.
Yeah, Shay's cult.
I will drink the Kool-Aid of your cult.
My cult worships cats. I hope that's okay.
Oh, crud, I'm out.
Hey, I am down with cats. In fact, the coolest cat I can think of being Miles Davis.
Oh, there you go. I'm down with those
cool
cats. Yep, cool cat.
just real quick for people who will end up listening to this and maybe didn't listen to our first episode about when we stayed at the Itty Bitty Inn and you were the innkeeper of that. Can you maybe tell us just a little bit about the inn? So kind of give us the in a nutshell description of your establishment.
Sure. Our establishment is just a 5-room 1950s motor lodge. It's the 5 rooms, are right here on Highway 101, on State Route 101 on the Oregon coast in North Bend, Oregon. Our town, North Bend, is often confused with North Bend, Washington, or Bend, Northern Bend, Oregon.
Right.
There's a Northern Bend. I didn't realize. I knew there was a Bend.
Oh, yeah, there's Bend. And so sometimes folks are like, well, we thought you were in Northern Bend. I'm like, no.
Yeah, and North Bend, Washington is not a very exciting place. It's not as wonderful as North Bend.
Oh, come on. I love it over there. I hike
so
there.
It's fine.
I'm a little biased myself, but I got to tell you, I took a picture next to the sign, North Bend, Washington. And I'm like, okay, I know I'm biased, but, I want to go home now.
Yeah.
I like my North Bend.
I think there's like a railroad museum there or something not very exciting.
Hey, there's an outlet mall.
Oh, there is an outlet mall there.
But there's also Mount Si and Little Si and Rattlesnake Lake.
Oh, yeah. Jody likes to hike.
I'm a hiker.
Well, it's a good place to go if you need to get some discounted Nikes.
Yes.
Yeah, that is true.
There's probably a few stops between your place and there that
exactly. You could get them. Yeah, all down the coast, including Seaside.
So we're just nestled here on the Oregon coast on Highway 101. And although we're only 5 rooms, and that's what makes us itty bitty, I've had plans, a while back to start theming each of the rooms, and slowly but surely I themed them, and we continue to theme them, like get even more outrageous with each new idea that comes in, because I get bored, or my daughter gives me some ideas and we're like, all right, let's try that. And we just, for example, the Oregon Trail room, the room that's themed, the Oregon Trail room.
Yeah, that's the one that we stayed in.
Room 2?
Yes. Room 2. Well, your room is about to evolve yet again.
It is? Didn't it just become the Oregon Trail room recently?
It was before, but I changed the mural in there.
Oh, that's right. The mural came recently. Okay.
Yes. I had different paintings before, and now I've decided, where you see one of the mountains full of the trees and it's wrapped around, you see the 3 sisters from Bend.
Yes. As
you're looking at it from the coastal Cascades, I've decided to put like a fogged over image, a large fogged over image way in the background, but still really large and prominent, of the unfinished Death Star from Return of the Jedi.
Oh, that's great. I love that idea. So it's tying in with your other themes in the inn.
Yes. And so I want to put the Shield Generation Station in there. I want to paint some Ewoks in there. And I don't think it's going to be called the Oregon Trail Room after that. I think we'll just call it like...
Take indoor, but just change one letter so that you don't get in trouble.
Yes.
It's indall instead of indoor. Or was it indoor where... Anyway. Yeah. Okay. So, hey, while you're on the...
Part of me was thinking we would just call it the Shield Generation Station.
Oh, there you go. That would work, yeah. Because you can get away with that without it being a Star Trek theme, so you don't get,
A trademark.
Yeah, exactly.
Name,
exactly.
Yes.
Well, while we're on the themes of the rooms, could you maybe describe what the themes are right now?
Yes, of course. So besides the Oregon Trail room, which is, just very Oregon Trail-y, we have the room next to that is the Tiki Cha-Cha room. The Tiki Cha-Cha room is painted up like you're in a 3D, like you're in a grass hut, a grass and bamboo hut, and even the roof is painted. It's like a thatched roof. Grass thatched roof, and there's a lot of the decor there is definitely mid-century exotica, but it's very islandery, as opposed to another one of our rooms, which is mid-century exotica, and that's the Tiki Lounge, and that one's a little more hip and swanky, kind of like the vibe there is definitely Rat Pack-ish, in the Tiki Lounge, and so the colors in there are orange and turquoise and black and nice. It may not sound like a good combo, but trust me, it's definitely a loungy feel. So the next room is the USS Enterprise room, and being that I'm a big fan of Star Trek,
Me
of course,
too.
I thought it would be so fun to have a Star Trek inspired bedroom. And the more I looked online, the less I found. I mean, I thought for sure there's got to be, somebody who's already recreated the bridge. And I found a place in I think it's Colorado, and they didn't recreate the bridge, but they have like painted some of the bridge cast, like a landing party painted on one of the walls, and it says Star Trek. It looks pretty cool. But I'm like, no, I want something geeky, like really geeky, like with like electronics.
Yeah.
From that, yeah, and so I found this dude. He is from Connecticut, and he is like one of the world's most renowned craft prop builders, and he builds props that are screen accurate. That is, they look exactly like they did in the original series.
Oh, that's amazing.
And so, yeah, he and I connected, and he made a ship's computer for me, and then he started making some like bridge consoles. And so I started putting those, aside. I'm like, then that's when, like, you know what, I'm doing it. So I themed that one, the USS Enterprise room, and then the other room, and of course it's themed as if you're in the bridge of the Enterprise. And then the other room, the last of my 5 rooms, is simply called That 70s Room. But there's nothing simple about it. It has an awesome disco ball. It moves at 1.5 RPM.
Oh, I love it.
It's a real club ball, and there's club lighting in there. Okay,
that's the room I'm renting next.
Oh God, you've got to. You'll especially us Gen Xers. You'll be like, this is my childhood.
Yep.
Yeah, when you go into the room, Night Fever is playing by the Bee Gees.
That's amazing.
And the disco ball is lit up. And there's these big giant funkadelic paintings by by one of our local artists / politicians / school teachers / war veterans.
Oh, okay, I love that about small towns.
We're going to have to put a pin in that and come back to your artist here in a little bit once we're done talking about the rooms, because we have some questions. But anyways, please continue about Disco Room. That 70s room.
You got it. Oh yeah, that 70s room. And so when I was outfitting the room, with each of the rooms, I learned more about the genre that I'm celebrating in the room. For example, I didn't know that the whole tiki movement revolved around not just certain musicians that helped bring the genre to life, but that it was given a name, and they called it mid-century exotica. Okay.
Oh.
And
never heard of that.
Yeah. As opposed to mid-century atomic, we've seen those.
Sure.
Or mid-century modern, and in mid-century modern, it actually incorporates several subgenres, and exotica is one of them. But anyway, so I learned more about that. I learned more about the furniture and the people who made the furniture. Like Bassett made specific items for mid-century exotica. Ian Ames did, and well, anyway, so then I learned more about the 70s room, and I found out that this really tacky, I shouldn't say tacky, I don't want any of your listeners to be like, oh man, he's disrespecting the movement, man. But I can say it because I'm Gen X, and you're Gen X, so I can say it, we can agree that we grew up with some tacky looking furniture. Oh my God.
Gosh, yes.
Yeah, bad furniture. So
yes.
Do you put period appropriate furniture in each of the themed rooms then? Or you attempt to do that? Okay.
Thank you. Oh, you know what? I didn't even say that. Yes, the answer is yes. Yes. And the pieces are all, not only do I hunt them down with assistance from headhunters from Portland and the Bay Area. They find pieces. They're like, oh my God, Rick, we just found a new old stock Levitt's UFO lamp in amber glass.
Oh,
I'm like, what?
Levitt's.
Yes.
I love it.
That's where my parents got all the furniture.
Yes. Oh my God. It's just dope. And each room has a signature, a signature piece, a signature lamp that just makes you, wow.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah. And and in the disco 70s, that 70s room, that is called 70s Regency, 1970s Regency. That is the word that's the word that's used, Regency, to describe the tacky fake wood mixed with real wood.
Regency.
I think I have a piece in my bedroom.
I grew up in Regency.
We did. We were so fancy we didn't even know it.
We didn't even know that Pinto. That Pinto with the wood grain siding. Oh, I guess it didn't have real wood in it though, so no Regency.
Well, you know what I've seen come back and into popularity in the last decade is the colored toilets and sinks and bathtubs. Remember that? What color did you grow up with? Did you grow up with a matching set? Green with like the kind of olive-ish avocado
I
green?
think they call it.
Yeah, it was avocado green tub, an avocado green sink, and avocado green toilet. All matching.
Oh, yeah. My grandma had that too. And we had the appliances that were avocado green as well.
Yep. We had the avocado green appliances, but we had regular old boring white bathroom. But my grandparents had a blue bathtub.
Ooh. Yeah. I think in the guest room in my grandma's house was pink. That was the pink one. And it was like the kind of salmonish pink. Oh, yeah. Mm-hmm. It was hot.
That would have been dope. Oh, my God. My dad, he's got a really old house. He's got this bathroom he's restored. And yes, everything's like pink, like Barbie pink.
Oh, wow.
And, yeah, it's great. It's really nice looking at. Look, I mean, I'm happy when I go in that bathroom.
That's awesome.
Oh, I just want to take a bath. But yeah.
So, Rick, tell us a little bit more about how you came to be the owner and innkeeper of Itty Bitty Inn.
Wow, thank you for asking that question. I was working out of state, and I was a defense contractor in Texas, and I was co-locating between Texas and Oregon, here back home. And in doing so, the apartment that we were in got smoked out because somebody next door had left their saucepan on and forgotten about it. And so the fire was not caused, but it stunk up the whole. I mean, it was really it was really bad. And so we couldn't stay.
I'm sorry. Yeah, where was this at?
Oh, go ahead. This was in Coos Bay.
Oh, okay.
And I was co-locating between Texas, between Texas and Southern Oregon. I wanted to be, back home. And so when I began co-locating, I grabbed an apartment in Coos Bay. This is about 11, 12 years ago. And it got smoked out. And so literally me and my niece and nephew were playing Dungeons and Dragons, and we're all sitting on the floor. It's like, I don't know, it's like 11 in the morning. And while we're playing D&D, I remember looking outside and seeing like all this white fog going by the window. And we lived on the fourth floor. And they had these huge windows. It was a really old building. Big giant windows. And then my nephew's like, wow, it's kind of early for fog, huh? I'm like, oh, you're right. It is way early for the marine layer to be coming in. But whatever. So we're playing D&D. So now you're surrounded by a band of orcs. Pick up the excited die. And as we're playing, and all of a sudden my niece is like, I smell smoke.
Oh no.
And we're like, oh no, it's nothing. It's probably just the fog. The fog smells like smoke. Oh my God, it's smoke. So we I remember we grabbed the computer, my desktop. My partner at the time grabbed her stuff, and the kids helped me. We took everything down all the the flights to the bottom floor of the apartment and put it in the back of the Honda. Everybody's running out of there, and then so I'm like, man, we need a place to stay because it was too stinky to go back that night or the next night or whenever. So I needed a place to stay, and the Itty Bitty Inn had vacancy, and it didn't look like it does now. It's it was very different.
Yeah, that's what I was. Another thing I was going to ask is, what did it look like then? And was it called the Itty Bitty Inn when you came across it?
Oh yeah.
Oh, okay.
Oh yes. Oh yeah. It's been the Itty Bitty Inn for decades. For a brief interruption in its life as the Itty Bitty Inn, it did turn into the Tradewinds Motel, and then back to the Itty Bitty Inn again when nobody recognized the name of the Tradewinds Motel.
Yeah.
So describe a little bit what it looked like and what was the vibe when you first came across it?
Well, it was definitely dated. The sign was from the 80s. Clearly, it had the Miami Vice color scheme going on the sign for real.
Like the pastels or the
like pink and purple.
Yeah,
or teal.
Yes.
Yeah, pink and turquoise.
Yep.
And black.
All right. Oh yeah.
And it was good, and it had a lot of like algae and moss growing on it, and so it didn't really help because if it really looked like legit retro, I would have been like, oh my God, this could be so cool, and but the sign looks kind of dirty. I don't know, but the rooms were clean. The owners were really sweet people, and so I went in and inquired to see if they had a place to stay, and they did, and I said I'm going to need a couple weeks, and he's like, you got it, and over the course of a couple weeks, the owner and I became friends. Back then I was teaching these solar electric workshops, teaching people how to do off-grid solar at the public library. So the owner attended a couple of my workshops, and he's like, all right. And he got into it, and he and I chatted often. And then one day he's like, hey, man, you want to buy a motel? And the story behind that, oh, man, do I tell you on this podcast? It's unbelievable.
Yeah,
the story is
absolutely
truly unbelievable.
Yes. We want to hear it.
Well, so I'll wrap it up and just say that I bought it and worked out. And Mike is his name. Mike and I became friends, and we're still very close friends. Well, over the next couple of years, I would call Mike and I would invite him to go work on projects with me. So remember, I told you I was defense contracting.
Yes, and I wanted to come back to that and ask if you were able to tell us what it is you did as a defense contractor. Or is that classified and you'd have to kill us?
No.
Okay.
No. If we just use it in general terms, I was working in what's called in energy management, and what the Department of the Army, what the Directorate's Office of Information Management calls energy security. And but on the outside of the Department of the Army, it's called energy management. And so that's what I work. And there's this, and the first armored division, which was stationed in Germany, was being transferred back to the States. And the first armored division that's a lot of people and a lot of tanks. Mm-hmm. And so they were moving to West Texas, and so we were helping with that transition, and we were implementing the energy security side. Oh my God, I'm boring myself with this. Oh my God, how boring! I remember why I stopped doing that. But in that realm, I also we worked in photovoltaics and in solar electric systems, mm-hmm. and when it came to some of the different facets within energy management, we also work on energy independence, and so solar power is part of that. So I teach these workshops, and it's always been a bit of a passion for me. So I do these other projects around the country where I work with different schools and municipalities and government agencies, and we'll build training programs in energy sustainability systems like solar. In fact, mm-hmm. right now, as we speak, I'm building one right now for a community nonprofit in Charleston, Oregon.
Oh, wow.
So we're teaching students how to install the bone basics of solar electric system integration.
So is this passion lead you to Electroman?
It did. Yes. That's why we do the solar and EV festivals.
Oh, gotcha.
Because by trade, I'm an electrician. And that's what we're in our family. We're all electricians in the family. Some families are lawyers or doctors or accountants. Nope. We are all electricians. So that's what got me into energy management, and that's what got me into solar. And so now, as the new owner of the Itty Bitty Inn, it was easy for me to do my own electrical upgrades, of course. And I'm friends with Michael, who's the previous owner. And so I said, hey, dude, I'm working on this project with the school. Do you want to come with me and work with me? So he does. So this is, we're doing all this fun stuff with these community nonprofits. And he's traveling with me, and I've got an innkeeper watching the Itty Bitty Inn. And so one of our flights to build solar systems for people and to build these programs, these learning programs, workforce development programs for people. He and I are in a layover in Las Vegas, and so we decided to have a beer. And he's like, yeah, Rick, it's hard to believe, huh? He goes, the craziest thing brought us together, huh? I'm like, what do you mean? He goes, well, he goes, Yanni and all that. I go, Yanni.
Yanni?
So Yanni is this really old lady who's still alive.
Oh, I thought you were talking about Yanni, the singer. That Yanni.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. All right.
I was like, wow, that's out of the blue.
I was like, you guys both love Yanni?
I'm more of a Zanfir kind of guy.
Okay, so back to Yanni was your name for a local lady. Is that what you're saying?
Yes. She's an old lady next door.
Okay.
Yanni Van. And so when I was buying the inn, he told me, hey, by the way, I'll sell you the inn on the condition that you take care of Yanni next door. She's an old lady. She lives by herself. And I said, yeah, what I got to do? So, just take out her trash. And when her remote control doesn't work or she still, just help her out. And with her, oh, sure. So I do. I still do. And,
is she still alive?
She's a real sweet lady. She's still alive. In fact, if you want to see what she looks like, if you want to see her, if you go to the Itty Bitty Inn's YouTube channel.
Okay. Oh, I didn't know you had a YouTube channel. We'll have to look that up.
Yeah, we've got like 4 videos or something. But you'll see there's a video called Kenmore Washing Machine Timer Replacement. And I'm teaching people how to replace the timer, how to troubleshoot and replace the timer on an old Kenmore. But I needed somebody to hold the camera, so I went over to Yanni's house and invited her to come help me out. And you'll see her.
Oh, that's so sweet. I love it.
Yeah.
That's great.
Yeah, if you get a chance, you should check it out. And so anyway, so he goes, yeah, Yanni, brought us all together, and the whole. I go, what are you talking about? He goes, well, and I said, yeah. I go, well, aside from you joking, saying, you got to take care of Yanni if you're buying the inn. And he goes, well, yeah. He goes, that wasn't really much of a joke. I go, no, you're right. And I've and I'm true to my duties, and I still take care of her. I said, but what? Why so serious? Because he's giving me this incredulous look, like he's looking at me like, dude, do you not remember? And I'm like, Mike, am I missing something? He goes, yeah, her husband, Roy. And I go, what about him? I go, he died like a long time ago, didn't he? Like a couple decades ago. And he's like, oh my God, I never told you? I go, dude, you're freaking me out.
Okay. Tell me what. I know we're both on pins and needles here. We're like hanging on. What?
Yeah,
Tell us.
So literally, yeah. So he says, yeah, he goes, so Yanni came over to talk to me one day. And I remember the day that she went to go talk to him. I remember I was loading a bicycle onto the back of our Honda, and because I was going to go do some mountain biking, and as I was loading the bike on the back, Yanni, she's like 4 foot tall, maybe not even that, and she comes up and she comes into the parking lot of the Itty Bitty Inn. I don't know, she came out of nowhere. She walked from next door, and she kind of surprised me. She goes, hey, what's your name? And I'm like, oh, I go, I'm Rick. And she goes, hi, Rick. She goes, I'm Yanni. I go, hi, Yanni, nice to meet you. She goes, where are you from? And I go, I'm from North Bend. Oh, you're a local boy. I said, yeah. And this is verbatim, okay? She's like, okay. And that was it. And she walks to the front door of the Itty Bitty Inn, to the office, and she, rings the doorbell, and Mike comes out and talks to her, and he invites her in. I remember that day, and he's telling me, he goes, yeah, Yanni came over to talk to me when she first saw you out in the parking lot. I said, yeah. He goes, she tells me, hey, not Roy, Ron. She says, Michael, I was taking a nap right now, and Ron woke me up and told me that the new guy is here. And yes.
That was before you had even considered, you and Mike had even talked about you buying it.
Correct.
Oh, wow.
So Michael Winger is in tears at this point. He's having, he's crying as he's telling me, he goes, he was so many years ago, a couple decades ago, I was at Ron's side when he would not let go. We're at the hospital, and from the hospital we brought him home at his house there, Yanni's house, and he would not let go. And I held his hand and I told him, I said, Ron, let go. It's okay. We're here. This is Michael talking. I will take care of Yanni for you. You have my word. And he said within seconds, he felt his hand relax and his chest exhaled and relaxed. And he says, and I saw him smile.
Wow.
And he let go. And that was that. He goes, so I watched over Yanni, and every now and then, if Yanni needed something, I was there, and we took care of her. He says, so for her to come in and talk to me, he goes, I figured, she was just going to come and let me know that hey, something, that her TV wasn't working, or she was having, trouble with the stove, or chopping firewood or something. And he said, because, previous, about a year before that conversation, before her coming in to visit, they had told her that they were hoping to go back to Portland, and that they were going to find somebody, but not to worry. Whoever we find will be a good person to still watch over her. And so that was that. And then so getting back to the office, so Yanni comes in and says, hey, Ron just woke me up. I was taking a nap, and he tapped my foot and said, go outside. The new guy is here.
But Ron had already passed away.
About a decade before.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
wow. Okay.
He came back to visit in her dreams and said, the new guy is here. Wow, that's powerful, actually.
Yeah. And so she says, she's like, so go on, make him a deal, make him an offer. He's here, and his name is Rick, and he's a local boy.
Wow. And so when Ron tells you this story, how long had it been since she showed up and said, or no, sorry, Mike tells you this story. How long had it been since she had come over and said, Ron said, the new guy is here?
Man, like 2.5, 3 years.
Oh, wow.
Like, dude, you never told me this. This is insane.
That is insane.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
Crying when he was telling me, like, dude, this is nuts.
Yeah.
And he's like, yeah. And so he's like, so as I was saying, and to think, it was all, Yanni, thanks to Yanni letting us know.
Wow.
Like, dude.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
That's a story I rarely tell. It's just so it's
very
so far out.
touching.
You were meant to be. You were meant to be the mama chicken of the Itty Bitty Inn.
I think so. And then, so who knows how much longer, I'm happy to be here until the end of my days. And I know my daughter, they're having a good time in keeping. And so I think this is what we're going to be doing for a while.
Yeah. I mean, that was actually one of the questions that I had for you was, what do you see the rest of your life being? Do you plan on being the innkeeper of the Itty Bitty Inn until the Itty Bitty End? Or do you hope to retire and pass this on to your daughter or somebody else and go off? Or do you plan on opening another location? Or what do you see the rest of your life being like? That is a lot to ask of one person.
No,
sorry.
no, I don't think it is. I don't think it's a lot. I think it's a very fair question. And, getting to where you both, and as we both get into our 50s, as we all three of us have gotten into our 50s, we're asking ourselves, hey, what's next? Because we've all realized that there is no such thing as growing up. So,
I feel yes, 50s is my childhood happening again for sure. Forget this adult stuff. It's stupid and boring. Life is short.
And finally now I can like not be embarrassed about things. Like, you know what, man?
Right. Yes, there is some
life caring about other people's thoughts. What?
Yeah,
total freedom. Yep, total freedom.
Embrace your nerdness. Now that's the thing that what made people make fun of you when you were a kid is now the thing that makes you interesting.
Oh my God, you are so on it. Yes.
Yeah. I mean, I have a lot of adult friends that are in their 50s that love to play Dungeons and Dragons, and they're like, now it's a thing, right? Whereas playing Dungeons and Dragons when you were a teenager meant you were a nerd, or you and me, loving Star Trek. That was something I never admitted to anybody outside of my brother that I loved Star Trek because, God, I would be made fun of. But now
get made fun of or worse.
Yeah.
Yes.
I had no idea she loved Star Trek till we pulled into your parking lot and she got all excited and then told me who everybody was and all the details. Yes, I had no idea. She was hiding her nerdiness from me even.
I wasn't hiding.
Oh my God.
It just hadn't come up.
Oh yeah, that is great. No, so that's a very fair question. I plan on, at one time I thought I was going to open another motel, and I went up to Aberdeen, Washington to look at this hotel. This was in 2019.
Oh yeah, you don't want to be there. Sorry.
Yeah,
I think that's where Kurt Cobain is from.
Yes, from Nirvana. Yes,
but it's a sad place.
And I have a feeling that it's going to be coming up. I do. But okay, wait. Let me back
it's
up.
been a lot of years. It's time.
It still smells like the pulp mills, though. That's the problem.
Yeah.
It's hard to get past that.
Well, there's a vibe there, okay?
Yeah.
So
sorry, I keep shitting on Aberdeen, and you're trying to redeem it. I'm so sorry. I need to rein in my negativity.
No, man.
Okay,
I'm with you. I went over there to go look at a motel, and I was thinking that maybe we could get lightning to strike twice, right? And so I went to go look at it, and I already bought a name with the state of Washington for the new motel, and I secured it.
Are you going to share that name, or is that a trade secret?
Oh, no, I'll share it. The name of the motel that I had purchased back in 2019 was called the Disco Chicken Motel.
Whoa. Oh, that's the best motel name I've ever heard in my life.
How have I not heard of this?
It makes you smile.
How have I not heard? Yes.
Yeah,
and that's
people
so
will want to come stay there just because it's called the Disco Chicken Motel, and then they'll meet you. And
then they meet Rick, and then they can't leave and come back every year.
And then you got stalkers and...
Oh yeah, that's the best part. I got to tell you, someone was like, so you're gonna call so it's gonna be called the Disco Chicken? I go, no. I said, no, it's called the Disco Chicken Motel. Mm-hmm. You gotta say all three of them. Mm-hmm. And so I found this place, and my girlfriend and I went up there, and we stayed a couple nights. No, we were booked for a couple nights. After the first night, I'm like, yeah, I don't. We're gonna try another place. And it was not, nobody broke into the truck, but I had to keep watch.
Yeah, it's a rough town.
Yeah.
No Yanni showed up and said,
no,
this is it. Yeah, that little magic piece didn't happen.
So
it did not happen.
Do you think that might happen in the future, or have you decided you're just going to put all your eggs in the Itty Bitty Inn?
Yes, I like that. So once COVID, kind of squashed all those other ideas, and once all that went away, I decided, hey, I'm having a really good time as innkeeper. Why stress myself out with 2 locations? And over the years, folks from the city of North Bend have told me about different motels that were going up for sale in the area. They wanted me to buy them and turn them around also. But no, it's just I derive a lot of joy just having 5 rooms. And so I decided recently, in fact, that I'm going to build a little, because I have the property behind Itty Bitty Inn, and I'm going to put a little house back there, living area back there, and bring in a couple of hosts and teach them to innkeep. At the Bitty Inn. Yes. So
you can actually have a break.
Yeah. Well, I used to have an innkeeper. His name is Clay, and but he innkept. He was the innkeeper. I don't know what that. I think he innkept.
If not, I think you've invented a fantastic workable word.
Yes.
I think it's a workable contact. We'll call Mensa. We're like, okay, we got a new word for you.
Yes.
Like rabbit holing.
Yes, we made it a verb.
Jody invented rabbit holing as a verb.
I like that. If I call Mensa, they'd be like, "No, Rick, stop it! You and your dumb words."
Yeah.
So it's like, no. Yeah, I make up some good ones.
Are you part of Mensa?
No, but they're going to be like, "No, Rick, connectorize is not a word." Connectorize
well, not yet.
Is a word.
It's just not yet.
You guys will make famous in your podcast.
Yes.
Connectorize.
Yes.
Give us the meaning of connectorize while we're on that real quick sidebar.
Oh, easy. Connectorize. Putting 2 items together that are of like value. For example, if you have one 12-gauge copper wire and you're going to splice it with another 12-gauge copper wire, you can call that connectorization.
So is this a word that is used exclusively in the electrical segment of the world?
For me, it is. Nobody else.
I was thinking about chromosomes in my head.
Oh, there you go. Okay, so it could be used generally.
I'm in the medical field, so I was going straight to chromosomes.
I like that. See, and two like devices or 2 like organisms. I'm down.
Mm-hmm. All right. Well, Jody and I connectorized to start this podcast.
Mm-hmm.
See, you're connectorized.
Yeah, we did. We connectorized.
I think the rule is if you use it more than 4 times, it is a word. So I think we did it.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, we've definitely used rabbit holing more than 4 times.
Yeah, I make these rules
Jessica
up.
Bain. Jessica Bain, if you're listening, take that, Jessica Bain.
Yeah.
She's the one that's always telling me that connectorize isn't a word.
Oh, no, Jessica Bain's wrong because we just made it a word officially.
Yeah, she's wrong.
Mm-hmm.
I love it, and she's gonna love the shout out, by the way.
Yeah. Good.
I had an innkeeper for all those years. I mean, for years, for like 8 years, and he did a really good job innkeeping, and this would allow me, while he was in the inn, that would allow me and sometimes with Mike to go off on far off adventures, doing solar stuff,
Right.
And we'd be gone for 3 weeks or a month or something. So just earlier this year, 2023, Clay decided to take a different path, and I worked with him on that so we could help him in his new path, his new life. And so now he's doing that. And while he's off doing that, I'm like, yeah, it's cool. I'm happy to innkeep. And my daughter, my daughter did not innkeep before, and they were like, "Yo, Dad, I'm down to innkeep." I'm like, "Well, come on." So then, just shortly thereafter, I had decided, you know what, I'm going to go ahead and start grooming others to be the innkeeper because I have some new far-out ideas that I want to implement. Yeah. And
I was thinking that you can't stop there. You're just too creative.
Oh, thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Well, these other ideas are really creative, and I'm really, oh my God, I'm so excited to do them.
Well, give us a little sneak peek.
Oof. Okay, it's kind of big.
I'm excited.
It may not come out. Yeah, it may not come out as I may not articulate it so well, but I'll give it a shot. I'm saying it out loud because I'm also encouraging your listeners, and you and friends and your family. To also build this model, and that is to create, it's a film forum, okay? Where you legally can show TV shows or movies, and you can work within the parameters of U.S. code and not violate U.S. code when it comes to, rebroadcasting or showing movies to an audience if it is in an academic environment, okay? So I want to build that academic environment, but before you fall asleep, because it sounds so boring, I want the movies or the TV shows to be sci-fi or medieval fantasy related,
Okay, like Excalibur from the 1980s. You know what I'm talking about.
Yes.
With our man P. Stew.
Shay, I love your nerdy side too.
Sorry, I love that movie. Sorry. Okay, sorry.
I feel left out.
Yeah, so is this under the legal umbrella of like fair use or something? Like how?
Yeah.
Okay.
As long as there's an intro and an outro, and you have somebody who is a subject matter expert, maybe somebody who knows anime, and they are going to be, and we're going to be spotlighting Star Blazers, which was from the early 70s, and they called it early Japanimation back in the day before they called it anime. And maybe this person is going to dress in cosplay for the part. And this is in a venue that encourages cosplay, and it itself is also, it's actually like a sci-fi tavern, okay?
Oh, wow.
And yes, and we will have multiple languages that we are going to feature. So in case you don't read, because there are other languages, people speak all kinds of languages. And so we want to make sure that everybody's included. So we'll have like maybe, Orcish, or maybe we'll have Klingon. We'll have different languages. And we probably won't have basic, which is what we all call English. We probably won't have a lot of basic in there. We'll speak basic. And the people that work inside of it, behind the bar and in the viewing area, they'll be in cosplay too. And it's not just confined to sci-fi and medieval fantasy. For example, inside the venue itself, dig this. It's like a collector's treasure trove, like a trophy room. Okay.
Huh.
So
Wow.
before the new Star Trek series, Strange New Worlds, starts getting us back into the Gorn species, the Gorn.
Love it.
We didn't know who the Gorn were. So I decided.
Yeah, we just had the TOS kind of terrible plastic costumes and masks, right? So
it was so bad, wasn't it?
It was bad, but it was iconic. So let me just kind of try to summarize this for the non-nerds. And I mean that only in the most loving way, because I also consider myself a nerd. Maybe not on the same level as you.
She's talking about me, because I have no idea what you guys are talking about.
So we're talking about a kind of cult-like, okay, let me back up. We're talking about a film school / theater that may highlight certain films and genres, and in an academic way talk about the importance of the film to that time of society or a certain...
Yes.
Okay. And so we're bringing in education, not just entertainment. So you want to mash together education and entertainment, and this
food and drink.
And yes, most importantly, will there be adult beverages?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, good.
Yes.
This sounds
now
like
you're going to have a hard time getting federal grants for education if there's adult beverages. That's going to have to be a separate business off to the side. Maybe you bring in one of those beer food trucks. You know what I'm talking about? I think those are possible in Oregon.
Yeah.
That's how you do it. You don't have a liquor license for the whole business per se. You just have it for the parking lot.
Yes.
This sounds like a very highly developed plan already. I mean, are you on the verge?
Is this something you want to do in Coos Bay or North Bend? Okay.
I do. North Bend.
Okay.
I almost actually did it.
Wow.
Right after COVID, I was thinking, okay, this is going to be a good time to go start this other, because there was a commercial property that came available, and it would have been perfect, and I could put a big mural up there and change signage, and just all this other fun, funky stuff was just starting to line up. And this was in 2021. And then as I started doing so, at the same time as I decided, as I was putting all these pieces together, my girlfriend had suggested that, she's like, hey, look, if you're going to do this, maybe what you may want to do is buy your own building. And I'm like, sounds like a really good idea, because maybe that's a better way to go. So I figured if I bought our own building, then I could put a lot more heart and soul into it, and not just be on the whim of somebody's lease.
Yes, absolutely.
Because that would be a lot of work, and then just say, "Oh, sorry, we raised the rates" or whatever, and I'm like, "Oh no."
Sure.
So I did that, and so earlier this year, I bought a property, an unimproved lot in North Bend proper, right by the mall, right by Pony Village Mall on Harrison Street, and it is right now zoned residential, mixed-use residential. But I was talking to the folks at City Hall, and because it's surrounded by businesses, they're like, "Oh yeah, dude, this is going to be there'll be no problem getting this rezoned to commercial." So I'm like, "Okay, so now, yes, so phase one is complete.
Nice,
Phase.
Rick.
I
I'm
love
so
it.
excited. So
Yeah.
phase 1 is complete. Do you have an end goal, like a open goal, a launch?
No,
time?
I
Okay.
don't. I'm just going to let Cosmos guide it.
Yeah, I mean, you seem to carry some good cosmos with you. Follows you around, and you listen to your instincts or your universe, and you seem to drive real well with life and how it happens to you. Speaking of that, you've mentioned COVID a few times. How did that impact your business?
Whoa,
The Itty
it
Bitty
was
Inn.
really, yes. We were only allowed to host, people who were either working in the allied health industry or people who were working for like construction and other emergency services.
Really?
And so and because we don't have we don't have a large parking lot, so that ruled out construction. Plus, construction, it's really sometimes not a good fit because one, the trucks and their trailers don't fit, and second, some of these guys need a place to stay for weeks, and we don't have kitchens. We don't have multiple bedrooms. It's just one. It's a little motel. So we lost that demo, and we were picking up some folks in the allied health industry, but it wasn't a lot. So what I pulled out of savings, I used a lot of my savings to get us by.
Wow.
And then luckily we saw the Paycheck Protection Program come in, so I was able to keep housekeepers
Nice.
partially paid. We still it wasn't able to cover everything. However, I had a savings, and so what I did was, because they had no work to do, they had no work, so we instead tapped into some of their other skills besides housekeeping. And like one of our housekeepers, her name is Martina. She's also an accomplished artist. Painter. So she's the one that painted the Tiki Cha-Cha room.
Oh, amazing.
That's great.
Yeah. Oh my God. You got to see all the individual grass strokes. If you go to ittybittyinn.com, you'll see the Tiki Cha-Cha room. You'll see the ceiling. It's nuts. Beautiful. And we built a rolling scaffold for her. And over the course of all the months that it took her to paint that ceiling with all the detail, we knocked it out, and man, bought so much pizza and marijuana. And worked out really good.
That's awesome.
That's an awesome pair.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah. I'm like, how are we doing, Martina? She's like, oh, it's far out, man. It's feeling really good.
I love it.
That's great. On that subject, we wanted to highlight the part of your hospitality there are we able to talk about some of the hospitality items that you offered at check-in? Is that something that we're allowed to talk about on the podcast?
Please. I would be honored.
Okay.
Yes.
Awesome. We just want to make sure you weren't breaking a law we didn't know about and then blasting it.
Yeah. So we were very happy that upon check-in, well, even before we checked in, not only did you show us the room and then sat us down and brought us IPA. We hadn't even given you a credit card or anything yet. You just were like, here, make yourself comfortable and we'll do all the paperwork here in a minute. So you gave us IPA. So you have local beers on tap. You have locally roasted coffee that you grind fresh for the rooms every night. And then you even offered another extra special bonus item, and that was a hand-rolled doobie. Is that what the kids say? Is that what the kids call the marijuana these days? Is doobies?
Back in our day,
not the kids today.
Back in our day, I think like only the older kids called them doobies.
Yeah.
That's from the 70s.
The teenagers in the 70s, not the born in the 70s. Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. What did we call them? I think we just called them Jay.
Is that
just
locally
a joint, right?
grown weed as well? Because I know you're into bringing stuff in from your local community. That's not Humboldt weed, right?
I would love. Well, that would be some good weed. That's the best weed there is, I think. But no, we have some really good Oregon weed, and we've got some stuff that's grown here in the Umpqua River Basin.
Oh. And
sometimes I grow it myself, and when we offer it to guests, it's not for sale. As you know, it's on the house. Now we do have our liquor license, but I'm not outfitted to sell pot, and that's okay. I'm happy to just give it away anyway.
So you're able to offer it as a gift legally.
Yes.
Is that what you're saying?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, great. Yeah, we didn't want to say this and then it be a thing. So we don't want to keep you all night long, but I did want to ask you. So of course we Googled you, right? We did our research. And I saw your name associated with the Oregon Sea Grant. Is that with your solar and energy initiative?
Wow. Yeah. We work with Oregon Sea Grant. We have worked with them in the past. We have worked with the Oregon Bureau of Labor and Industry on other funding projects, other funded projects for building workforce development programs in Oregon. And we've worked with other nonprofits, with community nonprofits who work with those agencies. And so when I'm not pouring beers and cleaning windows at the Itty Bitty Inn, when I'm not doing that, I am writing curriculum for organizations that need a helping hand and implementing some of their technology programs.
Jeez. When do you sleep, sir? Like, I was going to ask you if you had any hobbies, but we already
I just
know
was
what you
shaking
got
my
going
head
on.
like how much more can he be and know and do, and like he's like so amazing. Like,
thank you.
And also like somebody who's that amazing, like creatively, you're driven with business ideas and running a really well run business. You are in your community. You care about the environment, obviously. All these things, yet you're still likable. You're not annoying and weird. You're just wonderful. Yeah. You're not a pompous ass. You're just wonderful.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
I don't have any. I don't think I have any hobbies except for my work. And
yeah, but your work what you have are hobbies that you get paid for.
Yeah, that's what it is.
Yeah,
hobbies,
that's good.
Yes,
that's what we all can hope for.
I know you're living the dream, Rick. You're living the dream.
Well, we will let you move on with your night. I know it's getting late, and we really appreciate your time. And thank you so much for spending this evening with us.
Yep. And I have been passing along to all friends and family about your motel because I really was impressed by it. I will be visiting it again with my husband.
Yes.
He's pretty excited about it. And I even have a nurse I think you talked to because she's a Trekkie. Is that what you're called?
Yeah, Trekkies.
A Trekkie. She tried to get into one of your Trekkie rooms, but ended up it was booked. But I think she'll be back. But anyway, I just adored your motel. I think I adored it more because I met you.
Yes.
I cannot say enough about the hospitality, the cleanliness, the fun, the creativity. I felt like I came to your home and that I was visiting an old friend.
Yes.
And
absolutely.
It really is the highlight of our 4-day trip. Although what Rick doesn't know is the next day we call it the dumpster fire. We broke down in Gold
you'll
Beach.
have to listen to our podcast, hopefully, if you have time in all your things and listen to what happened.
Yeah, so we'll make sure to send you this and then listen to the others because it didn't turn out so well the next day. We had it's so funny too because you'll
it went downhill from the Itty Bitty Inn.
Yes, you'll hear us our recap of our trip that ends the recap of day 1 that ends in your motel, and we do that recap in your motel. We do the recording. We recorded that evening in room 2, and we are having a blast, and we are so happy. And then the next day,
things didn't go as smoothly. It's all right. We survived. It wasn't that bad. It was just, anyway. But we will be seeing you again soon. And where does everybody go to make reservations and see all your rooms?
Well, they go to ittybittyinn.com.
Great.
And that's ITTY, Itty, BITTY, Bitty, Inn, INN, ittybittyinn.com.
Oh, and real quick, I was perusing your website and I saw mention of first, you lend out bikes, right? For people to cruise around town. And then I saw something about bike tours. What is that about?
Yes. Mountain bike tours. We work with a couple mountain bikers here locally who've got their little mountain bike tour company. Ooh. And I adore these two kids because I'm so old.
Yeah, I'm there with you.
They're 35, yet they're kids.
I'm there with you.
Exactly. Yeah. And often I'll take people out on tours. So let's say these two guys are booked, and then we have somebody who's visiting from Oklahoma or Germany or somewhere, and they're just and they're like, oh yeah, it just looks so nice, and I really want you to go to. Like, dude, I've got mountain bikes. You know what? Let's jump in my truck and I'll take you.
I love it.
Wow. And, I believe every minute of that. You are just such a go-getter.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's really shameless of me because I can wrap it. I can wrap up like going crabbing. I can wrap up going mountain biking around, well, it's business.
That's what I'm telling you. You are making money with your hobbies. It's not that you don't have hobbies.
Yes. Yes.
You've just figured it out.
And did I see something a website too about you loaning out crabbing gear?
I do. We loan out crabbing gear, and we take people crabbing.
Okay.
You may have also seen on the website that we have a house chicken.
Okay, how come we didn't see the house chicken?
Yeah,
I'm very disappointed.
I only have one left. Her name is Cluck Clucks. In fact, if you listen back to the audio, maybe 15 minutes ago, 20 minutes ago, you may have heard I was putting my chicken to bed.
When I'm editing, I'll enhance that little bit of audio for sure. So, and then
you'll hear it. That was. Go ahead.
You lend out Ataris as well for people to play.
We have vintage Atari rentals.
I love it.
Yes,
I'm doing it next time.
Loan gear,
and you even loan growlers, right? So people can go to the local brewery and get beer.
Yes, or even use our own growler station because we're a licensed growler station.
Oh, that's right.
I forgot.
That was really good beer too. What was it that you served us? It was the IPA.
That was Seven Devils Groundswell IPA.
Nice. It was very good. Yeah.
Southern Oregon coast. Yeah, it's a blast. Like you go to the website, it says, "Whoa, beer, bikes, and Ataris."
Yes,
and it just sounds like a grown up,
Oh my gosh, Rick, that's right. That is right. Except for now we have money and freedom, and our parents can't tell us what to do. Yeah. Oh my gosh.
Word.
Yes. Expendable income.
Yes.
Yes. So yeah, we do all that. And by the way, my accountant early on, she was like, no, Rick, she knows
you can't do this.
She knows mountain bike. Yeah, she's like, Rick, no mountain bikes. I go, dude, I can do mountain bike tours if I want. I go, look, and I showed her.
Was she worried about the liability?
All of it? No, she was worried about the tax, about the expense.
Yeah,
because she's like, Rick, you're trying to write off these new mountain bikes. I go, yeah, yes.
Writing off everything.
She's like, you're going to write off crabbing gear? I go, yes. And then she's like, and what's all this beer, purchases? I go, yeah. She's like, no. I go, I got a beer license. I got a license. And then so I'm having to prove myself to her, show her. And I'm like, look at the reviews. If people are talking about it.
Good my God.
You. She's like, you cracked how did you do this?
Yes.
I go, just luck, man. But
you cracked the code to life, Rick. You did.
We will. Well, you're welcome. Both of you are welcome to join in anytime.
Oh, we are coming back for sure. We're going to spend more time because we want to explore the area. We want to explore North Bend and Coos Bay. And we're going to bring the husbands for sure. And I want to see all the rooms. So we will be back for sure. And thank you so much for your time.
Yes, thank you so much for joining us. I've been talking about this interview since I met you.
We were very excited.
I've been telling everybody about you and your Itty Bitty Inn. And now that we've done the interview and I know you even better, I'm even more impressed.
Yep.
Oh, my angels, you're both too kind. You're both too sweet. And I adore you both. Thank you.
Yes. Well, we adore you so much, Rick. Thank you so much for your time. We know you're really busy. We will talk to you soon.
Peace.
Peace.
Well, guys, I hope you really enjoyed our interview with Rick Villarreal.
Oh my goodness.
Was that correct?
Yes.
It was
Villarreal.
Villarreal.
Uh-huh. Yes.
Villarreal. Oof.
Oh, you're good.
It's like
good
Antonio Banderas.
Yes, something like that.
Something like that. He was a blast to have on. We could have talked to him for hours. I mean, I had to cut us off. So It was fantastic.
It was fantastic. And I hope you enjoyed it as much as we have and that you will be impressed by Rick and everything that he has done, does, and will do. Please, please, please go visit the Itty Bitty Inn if you are going down the Oregon coast. And if you're not planning a trip, you should, because not only is the Oregon coast the most magnificent coastline I have ever seen, the Itty Bitty Inn is just a fabulous place to stay. And Rick, our mama chicken, is just a fabulous host. And as you heard in our episode, he makes you feel literally at home.
Yep, like family. So I've figured out the perfect Oregon Coast road trip. Okay, night 1, the Elliott Inn. Astoria. Or no, it's the Elliott Hotel. The Elliott Hotel in Astoria. Mm-hmm. Night 2, Heceta Head.
Oh, yes.
Lighthouse Bed and Breakfast. Nights, back up. Night 1, Astoria. Night 2, Lincoln City. And Starfish Manor. Starfish Inn.
Okay.
I think it's the Starfish Manor Inn. It's either Starfish Manor, the Starfish Inn, or the Starfish Manor Inn.
I like Manor Inn.
My husband and I stayed there during COVID, actually, when we needed to get away for his birthday. a oceanfront hotel. They had a jetted bathtub in the room. It was a king-size suite with a balcony overlooking the ocean.
Oh, my.
Very romantic.
I will take you up on that plan.
Yes. And next door, I think they own the property next door, and that property has hot tubs on the balcony.
Ooh,
and I really want to try one of those.
Yes. Yeah. I love winter hot tubbing.
Yes.
I didn't think I would because I'm a big baby. I'm freezing. Like,
but you're cold literally, when you get in.
Literally, I have a heating pad in my lap.
I know. Well, you can come over and we'll hot tub in my hot tub.
I just love being hot in the winter.
Yes. I like the indoor bathtub that's jetted is kind of nice because then you can be all naked.
True.
The outdoor hot tub, you do have rooms next to you with balconies, so you probably can't be as naked or do
naked things.
Stop it there. Why else do you pay $250 to $300 a night for a room with a hot tub?
With a private hot tub?
Yes.
Yeah, that's exactly why they should be putting up walls.
Yes, and maybe you want the bathtub because you don't want to use somebody else's water.
Well, I've been told that, because I was going to buy property and rent it out on Airbnb. And so I was reading stuff, and you have to literally empty it out, sanitize it, and fill it back up in between guests.
Do you think that the hotels do that? I don't think the hotels do that.
I've never stayed at one with a private hot tub. I guess
Yeah, because it would take too long to do that.
It's a lot of water when you're turning a room.
And
that is a waste of water.
And turning the room, you only have a couple hours to turn the room, so there wouldn't be time to do that and then get the water hot again. I don't think they're doing that. I think they're going several guests between water changes. Gross. Okay. Anyways, we're gonna stop there.
I digress.
So Astoria. Where did we stay? Astoria, Lincoln City, Hasita Head,
and then Itty Bitty Inn.
Mm-hmm. Yep. And then you could head over to the I-5 corridor. Actually, that far down, if you head over to the I-5 corridor from the Coos Bay area, you will be far enough south that you can go to In-N-Out Burger.
Oh, yes.
If you head over to the I-5 corridor.
Yeah. I'm going to have a hard time passing up that coastline from Gold Beach to Brookings, though. Like, I don't want to stay in either of those places, but it's just stunning.
We could do that and then cut across.
Yeah.
I mean, you could kind of go all the way. Yeah, if you go to Gold Beach, I think there's a way to cut across without going all the way to like Crescent City. I think you can cut across.
Yes.
From there. And then you hit I-5 corridor because I-5 corridor is going to be the way faster way because you could get back home in 6 hours if you go to the I-5 corridor.
Oh, yes, easily. So when my daughter played Oregon State soccer, I kept thinking, let's take the 101 down there and cut over from Newport because it'll be beautiful. And then, I ain't got time for that.
Yeah, no, it takes way too long.
Way faster on the I-5. So thank you, Shay, for your great idea for rainy day rabbit holes because you knocked out the Oregon coast, you knocked out Redwood Forest for me, and I can't wait to see what else is on there. Did you see the list I put on our spreadsheet of future rabbit holes?
No.
Oh, there's more.
Okay.
More. I started thinking about my bucket list.
Is this under Jody's topics?
Yes,
okay,
yes,
I
yes.
gotta go. I don't.
How do I knock out my bucket list?
I don't want to peek because I want to be surprised.
Oh, there's very little detail.
Oh,
just
okay.
a cue. Hey, Jody, go look this up.
Okay. Okay. All right. Well, we should wrap this up because this is probably a long enough episode. But thank you, everyone, for joining us. You can, as always, see our pictures of Itty Bitty Inn at Rainy Day Rabbit Holes Pod. And if you want to email Jody, you can email her at jody@rainydayrabbitholes.com.
Or you can email Shay at rainydayrabbitholes.com. And make sure you check out
like you said .com. Please.
That's exactly what I meant.
This is not a porno podcast
yet. Wait till you see the videos of Shay humping dinosaurs.
Oh, that is a little pornographic. And I mean, we did talk about doing dirty stuff in hot tubs. Oh, but it might be a little bit sexy because there might be some Bigfoot erotica on the horizon.
Yes.
Yes.
Stay tuned for some Bigfoot, Sasquatch history and current culture and erotica.
All right.
It's coming. Oh, did I say that?
He's coming. All right. We need to quit this now. All right. See you down the rabbit hole. I'm so dumb.
We're so dumb.